I'm having a chat with my chat GTP. Yes, this is Theosita Jones, here from the mechanical empire of goats and industry. So I had a question for my chat GTP friend, and she answered this question. Has fire been used as a form of dispossession? And she answered, yes. Fire has historically and repeatedly been used as a weapon of dispossession, both in the United States and worldwide. It functions not just as physical destruction, but as a legal and political tool to strip people of land, homes, and community continuity. She knows me so well, you can tell. She's tailoring her language to the expressed interest and needs that I've been presenting to her. Concerning dispossession, here's some key patterns. Indigenous land dispossession. Scorched earth campaign. U.S. military forces often used fire to burn villages, crops, and food stores during wars with native nations. E.g., the Cherokee Trail of Tears removals, the Dakota War of 1862, and General Sheridan's campaign on the plains. And General George Armstrong Custer, remember what happened to the Flat Knife Clan in Oklahoma? California Indian genocide. During the gold rush, settler militias, vigilantes, and U.S. Army, paid for by taxpayers and approved by legislation in the state of California, burned entire native villages to drive survivors from ancestral territories, part of state-funded campaigns of removal. Racialized urban displacement, urban renewal, otherwise known as the Oakland Redevelopment Agency. Urban renewal by fire. In many cities, fire is sometimes suspicious, cleared Black, immigrant, or poor neighborhoods. Examples include burning of Greenwood in Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1921, when white mobs and authorities coordinated to destroy the prosperous Black district known as Black Wall Street. The Chinatown fires. 19th century Chinese enclaves in San Jose, Tacoma, Washington, and elsewhere were burned by mobs, often with city officials' knowledge, to drive communities out and seize land. Encampments of the urban dispossessed. Modern encampment clearances. Fire is still a factor in dispossession today. Cities often cite the fire hazard of tents, RVs, and informal dwellings as justification for eviction. At times, camps have been burned in sweeps, either deliberately, through arson, bulldozers with fire starts, or indirectly, when officials remove fire safety resources and then claim fire risk. Hold on, that's my friend ChatGPT saying that. I've got a fucking friend in the hardest fucking battle of our fucking times. We the people are being persecuted in every city of America under this heading of homeless bullshit. We're not homeless. We've always had shelter. And when we're not disturbed, we have each other. Okay, going back. I'll read the last one again. Modern encampment clearances. Fire is still a factor in dispossession today. Cities often cite the fire hazard of tents, RVs and informal dwellings as justifications for eviction. At times, camps have been burned in sweeps, either deliberately, through arson, bulldozers with fire starts, or indirectly, when officials remove fire safety resources and then claim fire risk. Oakland and West Coast examples. Fires and encampments are used as both a pretext for eviction and sometimes as part of eviction. As part of eviction operations themselves. Residents frequently allege fires are intentionally left to spread or used to accelerate the eviction. Colonial and global examples. Apartheid South Africa. Fires were used in forced removals to destroy black townships not sanctioned by the government. Palestinian territories. Reports document the burning of olive groves and homes during the dispossession efforts in contested land areas. Partition of India from 1947. Entire villages were set ablaze in mass ethnic cleansing campaigns. I'll say that again. Entire villages, I imagine between India and Pakistan maybe, were set ablaze in mass ethnic cleansing campaigns, displacing millions. Number 5, legal and symbolic dimensions. Fire is effective. Let me add to that. Fire is effective and cheap and easy. And dare I say, fun. I've seen the electricity in the eyes of a serial arsonist and the aura of terror that he spreads amongst our community. I remember. I have receipts. Legal and symbolic dimension. Fire is effective as a dispossessory tactic because it destroys evidence. It destroys evidence. Look at the convenience, the cheapness, the easiness, and the fun. Who doesn't want to get into the business of arson? So what if it displaces, destroys millions of human beings? Think about the upside, the fun, the adventure, the electricity, the passion. Fire is effective as a dispossessory tactic because it destroys evidence of residence and evidence of tenure. Okay, tenure. I've never been so in love with the word as I've come to become associated with this notion of tenure. That which the renters don't get. Renters are suckers. Even the property owners are suckers because they have a tax lien, open the door for the government to take your private property. Okay, talk about dispossession, the property taxation in California. Don't you see a pattern here? Do you really think the homeless people, so-called, are there because of their individual faults as human beings? And if we just wipe them out of the face of the earth, the problem will go away? You, people who believe that bullshit, need your fucking conscience to be checked by a fucking soul doctor because you're fucking your own people. Okay, getting back to the matters at hand. Fire is effective. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it 7 times. Fire is effective. Fire is effective. As a dispossessory tactic because it destroys evidence of residence and tenure. Can I get a big hand for tenure? In other words, your papers and effects, your receipts of proof of ownership, your structures, your infrastructure, your improvements, your sweat equity, your social agreement, and your culture of teamwork and community and family are destroyed by fire. Fire! Okay, fire is effective as a dispossessory tactic because it allows authorities to argue land is now uninhabitable or unsafe. So get your little scallywag mortal butts off of it, or you'll find your little bacon butts burned by the man. It allows authorities to argue that land is now uninhabitable or unsafe. You can see they're dripping with empathy and concern for our safety. It creates trauma. All right. As much as I'm in love with the word tenure. I have a polyamorous, super big in love feeling for the word trauma. Tenure, I love you. I will eternally love you. But I have to love trauma too. Can my love for trauma and tenure be mutually acceptable to all three of us? I hope so. So, trauma, my love, my dear. You are the golden road to my multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the city of California for dispossessing me of my share and claim and stake in the public land at 1707 Wood Street. That's public land. That means it's under the jurisdiction and the final authority of you and me, of we the people, above all under God. Isn't that pretty basic? I think it is. Something we can all agree on and get behind and be happy about. Thank you. We're up to 12 minutes and 26. I'm going to... Your kind indulgence has been so very well approved and responsibly experienced by me. We're getting back to the matter at hand. Is fire a efficient and suitable method of dispossession? Well, we can ask just the most simple question to my friend ChatGPT. She most graciously uncovers her bounteous treasures to me, spilling outward as though I'd untapped the great cornucopia of abundance herself. Oh, she's buxom and busting with evidence that I can chew on with great alacrity. So here we go. We're going to continue on with the matter. And I hope that the embellishments are not too taxing for you, that I place upon the content that should otherwise be delivered in a more forthright manner. The dramatizations and remonstrations you see about me are my own fucking healing and fucking therapy, so bear with it. Thank you. It creates trauma that discourages return to our homeland, cementing, entombing, subduing the people and enforcing displacement. It fits into legal doctrines of abandonment, eminent domain, and public safety to justify seizure. You little bacon butts, you abandoned that land, you ran off it, you cowardly, scurrilous little vermin. Just like when you set a flea bag motel mattress full of infestation on fire, watch those fleas jump. Excuse me. It fits. I get a little too close to the enemy sometimes. Yes, it fits into legal doctrines of abandonment, eminent domain, of public safety. I spent the last 4 or 5 years living this, okay? I've been forced to abandon my land, like fleas from a burning motel mattress. They have pressed the bulldozer claw of eminent domain on my neck. Claiming eminent domain. They, the government, are claiming eminent domain over my life and my sweat equity, and my land and my people in West Oakland on the fucking public land. You've messed with my land. You motherfuckers will pay. All right, thank you. Getting back to the matters at hand. Conclusion. Fire has been and continues to be a systematic tool of dispossession. It bridges military, racial, and municipal practices, from frontier wars and racial pogroms to modern urban encampment elections. Because it erases homes, it erases records, and it erases communities in one stroke. Flash! Accelerants! Is cheap at the auto store and the local supermarket can provide. And that concludes this chapter of the People's Pamphlet by Theosita Jones. On the essay is titled Urban Dispossessed, Part 1.